Originally released in July by Laplacian, Harmonic Reflections is the developer's latest visual novel to receive a worldwide release. For some background, the game recently returned with a complete retranslation after the studio acknowledged the poor quality of its initial machine-translated English script. This time, they've shifted focus to proper human translation, and it shows. An important decision for a game that thrives on emotional nuance and quiet reflection. And let's get into it in this review. Harmonic Reflections introduces Aruto Mozumi, a young man who has dedicated his life to his younger brother, Tokyo, a talented piano prodigy. Unable to hear the sound of the piano and haunted by gaps in his memory, Aruto believes himself to be hollow and lives only to earn money for Tokyo's tuition. His world is small and quiet, centered around routine and self-sacrifice. At school, he keeps his distance from most people, but he's made two friends in the karate club. One is Eddie Tachibana, a cheerful and determined captain who serves as the team's ace. The other is a pretty laid-back boy nicknamed Anji, who somehow balances his role in the student council with his easygoing attitude. These brief friendships ground Aruto's otherwise lonely existence at school. Everything changes though during the school festival when Aruto meets Sari Amane, a mysterious girl and Adi's childhood friend. This is when Sari claims to have memories of the future and asks Aruto to accompany her to Nagano next summer. There, she says, he'll have the chance to face his past and hear the piano again. Though skeptical at first, Aruto agrees, setting the stage for a quiet but deeply emotional journey of self-discovery. Avoiding spoilers, Harmonic Reflections tells a deeply human story about how a small group of young people confront the past and learn to move forward. The summer that takes place in Nagano gives Aruto space to rediscover who he is, piece by piece, before the story reaches its final cathartic revelation. The visual novel narrative features two routes, one for Sari and the other for Eddie. The structure is fixed, so the second route only unlocks after completing the first, which allows the story to build naturally. Both heroines receive strong characterizations with moments that highlight their values, vulnerabilities, and connections to Aruto in meaningful ways. Unlike other Laplacian titles or similar works in the genre, Harmonic Reflections doesn't present fully separated storylines. Instead, the second route feels more like an alternate scenario that changes some dialogue, extends certain moments, and adds unique illustrations. While this design is simple, it fits the story's grounded tone and lets emotional focus stay on Aruto's gradual growth rather than on branching romantic paths. Now, it also might leave some questions unresolved, but that ambiguity adds to the game's quiet realism. The cast is rather small and the playtime is short compared to most visual novels. But that intimacy works in its favor. Every interaction feels deliberate, and the script gradually drops hints about the underlying mystery without breaking its gentle pacing. Each character's pain and hesitation are believable, showing how even simple events can leave lasting scars. The retranslation effort by Robert Roy de la Serna elevates Harmonic Reflections significantly. Compared to the original machine-translated version, the new script reads naturally and carries emotional weight. Dialogue flows smoothly, and the prose better capture the subtle shifts in tone and define the game's introspective atmosphere. What was once serviceable but stiff now feels human and expressive. Visually, the game is stunning. Like other Laplacian works, there's clear artistic intention behind every scene. Framing often says more than dialogue, with subtle composition choices emphasizing feeling over words. Aruto's hands trembling near a piano, or two characters sitting side by side in awkward silence can communicate more than an entire paragraph of text. These visual cues make the story feel lived in and personal. The late game illustrations especially stand out, using color and perspective to mirror each character's emotional state. It's easy to feel the tension or tenderness in their relationships just from how they're positioned within a frame. The result is a visual novel that understands how to show emotion instead of just telling it. That said, a few descriptive scenes over-explain what's happening instead of letting the visuals speak for themselves. This isn't uncommon in the genre, but given how strong the direction is elsewhere, these word-heavy stretches feel slightly uneven. Harmonic Reflections is a short but powerful story about trauma, forgiveness, and what it means to rebuild yourself after loss. It's quiet, understated, and unafraid to let moments breathe. While the narrative doesn't reinvent the visual novel format, it succeeds because of its sincerity and emotional presence. With a thoughtful retranslation, strong visual storytelling, and a small but memorable cast, Laplacian delivers a grounded and heartfelt experience. Harmonic Reflections might not demand dozens of hours or multiple endings, but it lingers long after the credits. It's a reminder that even small steps forward can feel monumental when you've been standing still for too long. If you're drawn to character-driven stories about memory, healing, and the fragile connections that define us, this is definitely worth listening to, even if you can't hear every note. Noisy Pixel is giving Harmonic Reflections an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.